So in this video, we're going to go through how we can set up our first-person controller to display our gun and a crosshair system. It's going to be a quick little video. Why don't we go ahead and just jump into it? So I've loaded up into a prototype scene that should be included within your packages. So if not, go ahead and go to your prototype folder and click on prototype scene, and you'll see something like this. This is just the way where we can start um, getting our first person controller prefab set up just the way we like it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to first tackle our gun placement. Okay. So here's my game view. I'm going to go ahead and dock it to the side there. I'm going to need to be able to see my scene view and game view to get this to line up correctly. I'm going to go to my prefabs folder and I'm going to go grab machine gun prefab and drop it right into my scene. You can see here that as I move my gun in my scene view, I can start seeing it in my game view on the right side. We're going to need to rotate it 90 degrees. And then our goal here is to position it like so. Something that's semi-believable over to the side right there. I guess our character is going to be a righty, a right-handed character. And then you might notice that you're getting some weird clipping right over here at the stock of the gun, the butt of the gun. Well, just go into your first-person controller, expand it, and go to your first-person character object, and just set your near plane to like 0.01. So your near plane, you can see how as I adjust it, I can see how far my camera draws or doesn't draw. So if we're going to just set it to the near plane to be really small, we'll get the full detail of what's going on there. And I think I'm going to pull it back a little bit more. I don't want to obscure my vision too much. That'll be good enough for me right there. All right, so our gun's in place. It's rotated correctly. Our clipping's not an issue. Our camera clipping's not an issue anymore. What we're going to do next is we're going to take our machine gun prefab and parent it under our first person character object right there. All right, so if I press play, I now have the gun following me around with my camera view. All right, great. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the basis of our heads-up display for our character and then get our crosshair display on the screen for us. So we're going to be working with UI now. So we're going to go to Game Object, UI, and why don't we just make a little canvas, and let's rename this canvas to HUD Canvas. All right. Now we're going to parent our HUD canvas under our first-person character as well. And we're going to set up a few different attributes in our inspector. As you'll notice right now, the default canvas is this screen space overlay. That doesn't really do us much good because we want a heads-up display like we have a advanced tactical helmet on. So we need our canvas here to follow everywhere we're looking rather than just display blatantly on our screen. And that'll help our that'll help our crosshair to follow where we're looking as well. So we're going to go to our inspector over here. We're going to set this to screen space camera. And then it's asking what render camera do we want this to follow around. And we're going to drop in our first person character right onto that camera. And you'll notice that our canvas now switches to the middle of our screen. But it's kind of unwieldy. It's kind of huge and just too big. So why don't we do this? Why don't we say for our planar distance, why don't we say like 1? And if we zoom in, now we see our heads-up display is zoomed closer to us. And in fact, I maybe want to do a 0.5 or so, like that. All right, great. And in the future, we might tweak this even further so we can prevent clipping from the camera plane. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of get it in a more manageable state. That's maybe 1 unit away from our camera. The next thing we're going to do is, do we need to do scale factor? No, I don't think so. I think that's really all we need to do at this point. If we need to tweak anything else as we get into it, we will. So I'm going to right click on my HUD canvas now and go to UI, and I'm going to make an image. I'm going to call this image crosshair image. And then I'm going to go to my textures folder over down here, and I have a crosshair sprite loaded for you guys. So I'm going to get to the crosshair sprite, and I'm going to click my crosshair image object, so that way I can just drag and drop my image right onto my source, like so. All right, so that's looking pretty good. But I think our crosshair is a little too big. So with my crosshair image selected, I'm going to change the width to like 25 by 25, width and height 25, 25. And why don't we look and see what's going on now? All right, you can see now that we have a heads-up display that's following our camera and our gun. And if you look in our game view over here, let me maximize this, then we see we have that nice little crosshair. We have one little problem, though, that we're going to fix right now, and it's that my cursor is just floating around everywhere. And if you have double screens and you're looking over to the right and you click something, now I'm out of my game view. Oh, there I am. So our cursor is just everywhere. We need a way where we can lock our cursor to the center of our screen, which will also help us click on objects in the world as well, because if our cursor is constantly locked to the center of our crosshair like so, we'll be able just to click on objects by pointing our crosshair at objects, at different things like switches or terminals that we may be using in our game. So to do that, we're going to have to make a little script. And you can see I have a cursor lock script already made. So make your cursor lock C. I'll just do it from scratch. So I'm going to create a C# script, and it's going to be a simple little script. We'll call it cursor lock. Let Unity get it going. And then I'm going to just drop it onto my HUD canvas. It seems like a decent place to put the script. Realistically, I think you could put it on any object in the world, even a game manager. But since it's kind of directly related to our interface, I'm going to go ahead and drop it onto our interface HUD canvas object. And I'm going to double click on my script to open up MonoDevelop. And it's a simple line of code. For right now, we'll just kind of keep our start and update functions. And I'm just cleaning house a little bit. So what we're going to say is we're going to say screen dot lock cursor equals true. I think that's the correct syntax. Yep, no console errors. So now when we press play in our game, and I'll maximize this time, our cursor, for all intents and purposes, is positioned right into the center of our screen. Now, it might be a little hard now to get out of your testing. So if you press Control and P, it'll end the play. That way, since we don't have our cursor to press play and whatnot anymore. So I'll press play again. You'll notice that my cursor may not exactly be on the center of that. Why is that happening? Well, I'm going to go back and check my HUD canvas. And I'm going to go to Canvas Scaler. And I'm going to now so I'm on my HUD canvas. And I'm going to go to my Canvas Scaler. And I'm going to do Scale with Screen Size. That way, whenever our screen size is shrunk or whatnot, our cursor will automatically scale to whatever display size we're using. All right, the cursor is still a little bit above, but I think it's a little bit better. Now we can also see that my cursor is a little bit bigger, and we don't have to worry about different screen sizes messing with that. For intents and purposes right now, I'm okay with this. So if I click once, then my cursor goes away. For right now, that'll be fine right now. And what we have is a heads-up display ready to go for other UI elements such as ammo and health. And we can also click on objects in our world with left click, because our cursor is right in the middle of our screen for us inside of our crosshair. So that'll be it for this video. The next video, we'll just keep on trucking and get some basic firing and different things that we need for our first-person controller to work going for us.